Hello. Last night, some friends of mine lost their husky, their dog, to cancer, which is very tragic. It's a very lovely dog. And it's reminded me of all the occasions in my own life when I've lost dogs of my own life. I've always had dogs since childhood. And over the years, obviously, they never live as long as we wish they would. And they move on, and it's heartbreaking, but you open your heart to another, and they come into your life and change your life in all sorts of wonderful ways, as well as sometimes destroying the furniture, but it's the price you pay. Um, Dogs have been in a symbiotic relationship with humanity since probably the Neolithic. It's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. As at one level we have adapted them to our needs, creating all sorts of new breeds and so on, but also equally, arguably, they have adapted us to their needs. It's a two-way street, which is something that humanity needs to bear in mind more often. It's not just what we do to other living beings, but the fact that they are influencing us in exchange. And I think dogs influence us very much for the better. They make us much more decent creatures, more loving, more affectionate creatures. They teach us all sorts of lessons, perhaps unintentionally, but they do. And we've come to love them and adore them, at least most people have, even to the point of referencing gods and goddesses in dog form, canine deities. In Hinduism, in Nepal, they have a festival called Kukatiha, which is entirely devoted to dogs, not only to reverencing them as manifestations of deity, particularly Yamraj, the god of death, but also the actual real physical beings of dogs in themselves, their role as pets, as working animals, as helpers, assistants, companion animals, and so on. It's a topic I intend to reflect on more and intend to write about quite soon. I'll probably upload a copy of that to the blog site. But just for now, just for the moment, instead of waffling on even more than I already have, I'd like to read a poem by Rudyard Kipling called The Power of Dog. Mr. Kipling, I think, particularly understood the love of animals, especially dogs, and their role in country life. And with his being born in India and exposed to Hinduism throughout his entire life, he was quite possibly very aware of the festival of dogs and the reverence of dogs in some parts of India, as well as in Nepal and so on. So that may well have inspired him with his writing of this particular poem. It's a beautiful one and very apposite to an occasion when we're thinking about the death of a dog. So, the power of dog. There is sorrow enough in the natural way from men and women to fill our day. And when we are certain of sorrow in store, why do we always arrange for more? Brothers and sisters, I bid you beware of giving your heart to a dog to tear. Buy a pup and your money will buy love unflinching that cannot die. Perfect passion and worship fed by a kick in the ribs or a pat on the head. Nevertheless, it is hardly fair to risk your heart for a dog to tear. When the 14 years which nature permits are closing in, asthma or tumour or fits, and the vet's unspoken prescription runs to lethal chambers or loaded guns, then you will find it's your own affair, but you've given your heart to a dog to tear. When the body that lived at your single will with its whimper of welcome is stilled, how still? When the spirit that answered your every mood is gone, wherever it goes, for good, you will discover how much you care, and you will give your heart to a dog to tear. With sorrow enough in the natural way, when it comes to burying Christian clay, our loves are not given but only lent, at compound interest of cent per cent. Though it is not always the case, I believe, that the longer we've kept 'em, the more we do grieve. For, when debts are payable, right or wrong, a short-term loan is as bad as a long. So why, in heaven, before we are there, should we give our hearts to a dog to tear? Thank you.